8814. Remember that, and then find a strange game inconsistency. In this wall box, I find two types of ammo for the grenade launcher, but the description of each is different. One says bullets for the grenade gun, and the other says bullets for a grenade gun. It's small templating inconsistencies like this that I find odd. It's a lovely parallax scrolling depth effect with silhouetted objects in the foreground, the chain link fence, and the background scenery behind Regina. We turn on the third energy machine, we hear a gunshot behind us, return to the room, and the barely alive scientist is now not very alive at all. She's been shot, and there's a bloody handprint on the wall. Cool touch here. You can actually use the fingerprint scanner to take the scan from that handprint. We chase down the mysterious shooter, and it was Dr. Kirk. He holds us at gunpoint, but then Gale shows up and holds him up with a pointier gun, and then we get a 4-minute unskippable cutscene where the good doctor reveals the unintended time travel properties of the third energy research, with the best over-the-top voice acting.
Oh, right. So that's how those dinosaurs appeared in our time.
Precisely. And that is what I have done.
And how many people were sacrificed before you made this discovery?
Who cares? The numbers are quite irrelevant. Let's just say that there were many extraordinary deaths for ordinary men, don't you think?
Spoken like a true devil.
A god or a devil? I don't care about that. Only my experiment.
I love the smugness of a Resident Evil-style villain. So the third energy causes rips in space and time and transports stuff from the past here. Whatever was here before is here now. Let's not mention the practicality of the fact the Earth is moving through space, and if you take the exact coordinates within 3D reality millions of years ago, it would just be nothing. That doesn't matter. It's dinosaurs. Accept it.
$0 Grubhub delivery fees with Prime. Eligible orders only. Terms and additional fees apply.
Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
One more, everybody.
Well, it turns out the side effect of transporting dinosaurs from the past to the now is really powerful, and the military kind of want it. So now another choice. We need to assemble two things to operate the third energy machine, the initializer and the stabilizer. Gale's plan is to shoot our way to the storeroom and find pre-built ones. Rick's plan is to sneak around the labs and find the bits we need to build them. I don't have the ammo for a firefight, so I go with Rick. Sneak around, which does get us one of the more unusual puzzles. There are 6 parts to find, all hidden behind various puzzles, and in one room we find a wiretapped conversation and listen on in.
Concern regarding the new generator is the stabilizer. It functions perfectly under nominal conditions, but it's still a problem under certain conditions. Look, with the generous budget, personnel, and facilities at your disposal, shouldn't you be able to solve that problem? Once complete control can be established, we will literally have the power of a god at our disposal, and it will all be attainable if you cooperate with me. The power of a god. How can I refuse?
At the end of this conversation, we hear 6 distinct beeps. Those beeps and their exact tone relate to this sliding lane puzzle. You must move the target to the correct dots to match the tone pattern exactly. There is only one way to do this, making this the only puzzle which actually needs the in-game audio. And as you do, remember the 6-digit number you end up creating, because you then need to take that number and, following these rather convoluted instructions on the memo, add a 0 to the start and the end of it to make it 8 digits, then split that number in half down the middle and enter each 4-digit code into 2 halves of a lock. That took me way longer than I'd like to admit to work out. Once you found all 6 bits of the stabilizer and initializer, assemble them in this spinning object minigame, having to spin to match the incoming direction of the new piece. The challenge here is each piece has different spin speed and friction. There's no penalty for failure, just keep trying. Then return to the security card ID room using the bloody fingerprint data you scanned from the wall, which we now know was Dr. Kirk and his employee number we found earlier. You can rewrite a keycard with his authorization, getting us everywhere. Return to the main third energy generator room, run across a few walkways, turn the system on, then head around the side and place the stabilizer and initializer into their respective housings. Take a small elevator down to the lower levels and walk across this gantry which has steps on it, but notice that you can't go up or down the steps in normal gameplay. You still have to interact, making them the only cutscene which doesn't actually cut away. Activate the third energy machine and send it into to melt down. We see a short cutscene showing the whole facility start to collapse. Dr. Kirk is almost crushed when Gale heroically pushes him from danger, saving Kirk but harming himself. Thankfully, as Kirk runs off, Gale throws a tracking device onto his back. We meet back up with the team. The third energy anomaly has been removed, so the path to the port is clear, but now one final choice. Gale wants to stick to the mission, go and grab Kirk, and then escape. Rick wants to forget Dr. Kirk and escape right now before the third energy goes critical or some dinosaurs eat us. You must choose. And this is the only choice which matters because it actually affects the game's ending in a very small way. There are technically 4 possible endings based on your choices. The table is on the screen now. This is the only time you can choose to follow a path and then go and do something else. Your choices are essentially escape by hovercraft or by helicopter. And then, how many of the teams survive? I am going to follow Gale, track down Dr. Kirk, and complete the mission because it gets Regina the coolest ending voice line. You track down Kirk by following the tracker marks on your map. Notice this takes us back through the generator room where the T-Rex is supposed to be, but isn't. So we catch up with Kirk, and Gale then reveals the secret behind our actual objective.
You got your man, Gale.
You're not one to forget a grudge, are you?
Come on, let's go.
Regina, take this.
Disc.
It contains all the information on the third energy, including the details on how to use it as a weapon. Once we deliver this disc to our government, our real mission will be complete.
Just as I suspected. What do you mean our real mission? Our mission is to take back Dr. Kirk.
That was the official lie they fed you. Your boss only wanted the data from the vetting unit.
What are you talking about?
Don't you get it, girl? It's so obvious. The government doesn't want me. They want the third energy. They want this weapon all to themselves.
And this whole mission was a front from the very beginning.
Some twist ending. We're the bad guys, sort of. The government didn't want clean energy. They wanted to use the third energy as a super weapon. I mean, yeah, we're a crack team of elite soldiers sent in to kidnap a scientist from a foreign research facility. I don't think anyone playing this felt we were the paragons of morality. We don't look like the good guys.
You're right. Let's go, Gale.
This is the reward for a lifetime of service to the government. So,
Let's go.
Well, Regina learns the truth. We punch Kirk for good measure. Gale decides now's a good time to die, so we return to Rick and let him know Gale is dead. And with all that sorted, we head to the port to escape. I feel Gale dying makes this the best ending, as he was loyal to the mission the whole time. We finally reach the hovercraft and start our escape, but our old friends, the T-Rex, is back for one final showdown. We grab the grenade gun from the hovercraft, if you haven't already found it, stand on the roof and shoot every time he gets close. This is an on-rails timed boss fight, and after 3 shots, the T-Rex dies. Rick fires the boat-mounted missile, which we for some reason have, and then we get the ending cutscene, but the T-Rex is still not dead. Thankfully, we find some conveniently placed C4, and Regina finally gets a badass line.
In the line for you, handsome. Stinks.
finding reason, LinkedIn knows how.
Final playtime just under 9 hours, of which 3 was getting lost or waiting for puzzle animations to finish, so 6 was mostly solid dinosaur action, and that is Dino Crisis 1. Completing the game on PC unlocks the unlimited ammo grenade launcher on future playthroughs. Or even try Operation Wipeout, which is a time-based kill all the dinosaurs challenge, the main challenge being find a better weapon than the pistol. So now we've finished the game, we can answer a simple question. The Dino Crisis 1 re-release on GOG, is it good? The actual game build itself, yeah, it's fine. A few minor graphical things like item layering and foreground object shake, but didn't crash, works in window mode, and has everything the original game had. Getting old software running on modern whereas normally a Nightmare, this was very simple. I also got a reply from GOG about the costumes being unlocked from the start instead of being unlocked by finishing the game. It seems this was a Capcom decision for the PC version, and the unlimited grenade launcher is the correct reward for one game completion. So, there's the answer. Is the game itself good, though? Well, it's fun for 6 hours, but it's not the best Capcom game ever made. The characterization is weak, the enemies are limited and samey, the boss fights are all gimmicks, and you kill the T-Rex in a cutscene. The puzzles do have some inventive moments, but are mostly just logic tests, and they switch from pre-rendered backgrounds to 3D real-time environments. It's a technical step up at the cost of a stylistic step backwards. However, remember the PlayStation Plus version was locked behind the $18 a month sub. Well, the GOG version is $10, or you can get the bundle with the sequel, because they've got Dino Crisis 2 on there as well. And I've never played Dino Crisis 2, so I'm going to go and do that now. Cheers for watching. Another massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch for keeping the channel alive, and Good Old Games for letting me test the PC release of Dino Crisis 1 and 2. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, and our Discord. And as always, remember,
Instinct.
Welcome to Resident Evil Iceberg. This is my first attempt at ever making one of these videos. All the content here spans across 25 years of the franchise. I try to stay within the core games, but I do mention things about the books and live-action films. This video was meant to mostly guide people to weird obscure facts and inside jokes from the series. There's not much that includes spin-offs, for I'm literally covering 25 years worth of content, so I had to opt to cut things out in order to make the video roughly an hour. I'm a die-hard Resident Evil fan, and I really wanted to put this together for the sake of informative entertainment and nothing else. The source of this iceberg comes from me. I painstakingly endured sleepless nights in order to Frankenstein this all together. With that being said, I hope you all enjoy, and I do not own some of the footage seen throughout this video, so I will have on-screen text displayed on footage that is not mine. Do enjoy. You have once again entered a world of survival horror. Good luck.
A natural diamond for every milestone and every moment that makes us, us. Don't miss the savings. Shop the Valentine's Day sale, only at K.
Biohazard title. The name for Resident Evil in Japan is Biohazard. It's been theorized to death as to why the names change, but the most frequently cited answer is because they banned the same name. Developers held a company contest for the English localization title, and Resident Evil was submitted as a joke, and it won. Because Evil House? Get it? Jill's Sandwich. Probably the most common meme and quoted line from the entire series, this refers to a reoccurring joke about Jill becoming a sandwich, which is a reference to a line that Barry Burton himself said in the original game released back in 1996.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
There's been reference in various forms around the internet and pop culture, and it's even been referenced in Revelations 2 by Claire.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that was almost a clear sandwich. Oh, Barry, tell everyone that's angry.
It's something so self-aware within Capcom that it could even be seen in the Resident Evil 2 remake demo, and there's a properly named sandwich shop that can be seen and found within Dead Rising. Resident Evil movies. Probably one of the most polarizing topics discussed within the Resident Evil community. The films are known to be a shameless schlock that mostly gets everything wrong about the games, from the casting, themes, the writing, I mean, you name it. There's just so much wrong going on outside of Santa Gallery as Jill Valentine, but I leave that opinion up to you. Some people love them, some people hate them. I mostly hate them, but I can't stop watching them, so womp.
Also, Paul W.S. Anderson is married to Milia Djokovic, so come on, let's be real. This is believed as to why Alice is as prominently featured as she is. Boulder memes. This refers to the countless boulder punching memes surrounding Chris Redfield punching a boulder at the end of Resident Evil 5. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it took the internet by storm. Sweet Home. This is well known as the true inspiration for the Resident Evil franchise. Sweet Home is a Japanese film that inspired a survival horror video game about 5 filmmakers who explored old mansions for hidden rare paintings. As they explore, they encounter ghosts and great supernatural elements. The demo of Resident Evil 7 took from this, thus allowed people to assume that Resident Evil 7 would focus on the supernatural and steer away from bioweapon experiences. And I'm glad they were wrong. If it's not science, this ain't Resident Evil, you know? Complete global saturation refers to a meme with so many parodies revolving around the line that Lister has in Resident Evil 5.
Global saturation.
I was never surprised by this blowing up because the line is just that damn fun. Don't shoot the water. A well-known Easter egg that is usually figured out the hard way. If you shoot the water near the pier or the lake where you fight Del Lago in Resident Evil 4, you become fish food. You're even rewarded for this in the HD releases of Resident Evil 4 due to the achievement and trophy system. George and Lisa Trevor. These two characters are highly referenced from the files and remake, which we'll call the Resident Evil remake from here on out. While George was known as the mansion's architect, it soon found out that he died due to one of his own traps, as well as alluding to why there are many crazy puzzles and booby traps placed around the mansion in the first place, which all served as a deterrent for strangers that are not part of Umbrella from discovering their more sinister activities. Essentially, the Trevor Mansion is simply disguised to hide the Umbrella lab beneath the surface. Lisa is the daughter of George, who is taken to be tortured and experimented on. Her backstory is incredibly tragic. Lady Dimitrescu. There's no way I could have made this list without including our favorite tall vampire MILF. Even people who have never played the games know her into the cosplays, memes, and fan art. Google these at your own risk, for the internet is very thirsty for her. She is to be featured in the upcoming Resident Evil game known as Village, aka Resident Evil 8. Shinji Mikami, the guy who is very much responsible for the development and creation of the games we came to love. X gon' give it to ya refers to a popular meme revolving around Mr. X that references the song X gon' give it to ya by rapper DMX. There are mods to Resident Evil 2 Remake on PC that plays the song whenever the tyrant is near. And I won't be playing the song for copyright reasons. Unfortunately, in the process of making this video, DMX has since passed away. DMX allowed a lot of Resident Evil fans to enjoy the song and be entertained, and it sucks that you're gone. You have solidified yourself as a part of Resident Evil fan base. Rest in peace, my dude. Slippy Slides. Slippy Slides is a channel on YouTube that looks to break past boundaries in a game to show off the behind the scenes and funny occurrences which happen in a video game that players normally can't see. In his video, Resident Evil 4, he discovered an Easter egg in the late game that is a photo of one of the game's developers. It's quite amazing because it was found more than a decade after the game's release. George Romero. George Romero is seen as the godfather of the zombie. George Romero was originally planned to screenwrite and direct the live-action Resident Evil films. He was later removed from the project because apparently the script was deemed too violent to get nothing below an NC-17 rating, as well as some other speculative reasons. He also directed a live-action Resident Evil 2 commercial that was used for Japanese marketing, and it's a really cool little thing to watch. It's also nice that Capcom later paid homage to the commercial, having a live-action trailer for the Resident Evil 2 remake. Unfortunately, George Romero passed away back in 2017. And the world was always left with this, what if the Resident Evil movies were made by George or Stereo? We'll never get an answer to that. So, rest in peace to a legend.
Mastered your mind. You were on the train home. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
$0 Grubhub delivery fees may apply. Eligible orders only. Terms and additional fees apply.
Queen references. There are a number of references to the band Queen all throughout the earlier Resident Evil titles, such as Chris and Claire's jackets and vests saying Made in Heaven. Also, the insecticide in Remake is called the Killer Matriarch, which may actually be a reference to the song Killer Queen. Billy's tribal tattoo, when I say tribal in quotations, is truly a phrase that reads out Mother Love, which is a song featured on the Made in Heaven album. Let Me Live is also seen on one of Claire's jackets, which is another song from the same album. The Fort Survivor and the Tofu Survivor. These are two mini games which are featured in both the original and remake of Resident Evil 2. They are unlocked by beating the games with various methods in each title. In Fort Survivor, you play as Hunk, considered canon and explains elements of the plot that is featured in later titles. We Do It refers to a motto from the Resident Evil 2 remake developers from Capcom as a way of responding to the fan demand for an RE2 remake. Despite taking years to finally show us footage since the initial announcement, it definitely paid off. Many fans of the series were losing hope that it was even happening, going as far as to meme this motto. It's probably assumed that the development and reluctance to show any footage from the game was due to the Resident Evil 3 remake also being developed at the same time. We Do It has also been officially adopted by the RPD to be their own motto in the in-game universe. Sniper instructions in Resident Evil 2 remake. In the RE2 remake, there are posters with targets on them that for some reason have instructions about cleaning and diapers, and yeah, why this is the case is beyond me. Still hilarious. Ashley Easter eggs. Resident Evil 4 has quite a few Easter eggs revolving around Ashley. Be it her cheering alongside Leon and Gondola whenever you shoot down Donatos, or even calling Leon a pervert for looking up her skirt.
Hey, what are you looking at? Oh!
You pervert! It's nice to see such an attention to detail to a character. She even hurts Leon's back if he catches her while she wears a suit of armor. Leon the Professional and La Femme Nikita. It's accepted by the fans that Leon is properly named based off the main character portrayed by Jean Reno in Luc Besson's Professional. Leon's name could just be a coincidence, but it's safe to assume they purposely made connections during RE4's development, which is naming an unlocked handgun the Matilda, which is the name of Natalie Portman's character in the film who partners with Jean Reno. This actually isn't the only time Capcom references or even use Jean Reno in their games. Mission 3. Ada Wong is a femme fatale within the Resident Evil series who has a character origin based around La Femme Nikita. The title's three separate ways clearly pays tribute to Nikita. Julia Vaught and Catherine Disher. Both of these women are highly respected and loved by the Resident Evil fan base. Julia Vaught was the model who inspired the look for Jill Valentine. Vaught even went as far as cosplaying Jill. Catherine Disher is the English voice actor for Jill in Resident Evil 3 and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Chris the Hedgehog. Roger Craig-Smith, the main English voice actor for Chris Redfield from 2009 to 2015, has also voiced Sonic the Hedgehog between 2010 and 2020. Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake voice actors streaming. Both the voice actors for Leon and Jill, Nick Apostolides, which is a fun thing to say, and Nicole Tompkins, respectively, have live streamed and played their respective games together, while also giving insight to their work and overall involvement. It makes for great fun to watch, and they've even done so in cosplay. Thomas the Train and Mr. Sex. Okay. These refer to simply hilarious and amazing popular mods nods to Resident Evil 2 Remake, which basically turns Mr. X into Thomas the Train or into a super sexy Speedo wearing Chad. Go check them out as well as countless other mods out there. RE 1.5. Resident Evil 1.5 is the original build for the original Resident Evil 2 that was scrapped by Shinji Mikami literally 80% into the game's development, causing the game to be delayed by an entire year, as well as completely reworked. Everything from the gameplay, stories, characters, enemies, you name it. Despite all of this, many of the original features and some of the weapons were actually incorporated into the Resident Evil 2 remake, such as the shooting range, the secret office, Mr. X and Ada's appearances, grenades, yeah, you name it. Oh, and William Birkin actually calls out for Sherry in both the 1.5 and the remake of Resident Evil 2. I'm sure you can find more things which were added from 1.5, but these are just some. Elsa Walker. Elsa Walker was the original one featured in RE 1.5 who later became Claire Redfield. Initially, she was meant to be related to Florence Spire from the Bravo team. She was then known as Rachel Spire. Capcom didn't want RE2's lead characters to be related to anyone from the first game, intending to let RE2 stand as its own. Thankfully, Capcom flipped this and gave us Claire Redfield. Unfortunately for Elsa, she was never seen in reference again despite fan demand. In 2019, she, along with Resident Evil 1.5, were finally acknowledged officially by Capcom that an Elsa Walker costume was added to the Resident Evil 2 remake for Claire. I still praise Capcom for this inclusion. They really didn't have to do it. But perhaps we need justice for Rachel Spire. Just kidding. Or maybe not. Lickers are mutated zombies. In the Resident Evil franchise, there is a file which talks about a mutation from the T-virus known as the V-Act. This essentially explains the Crimson Head zombies in the Resident Evil remake. That being said, it's also part as to why zombies can then mutate and become lickers. There are more details surrounding this, but I basically gave the gist. Lost in Nightmares Easter egg. In the Lost in Nightmares DLC for Resident Evil 5, which is also bundled with the Gold Edition, checking the front door to the mansion results in the camera angle changing to emulate the classic third-person perspective from the original Resident Evil titles. It's fun, but extremely hard to shoot the emblems. You can revert the camera angles by interacting with the doors again. Bullet holes on the screen. In the original Resident Evil 1 and 2, it's possible to shoot the screen and damage it with your gun. In RE2, requires a shotgun with Leon. It can be seemingly done with or without the shotgun in Resident Evil 1 regardless of the character. I'm still not sure about all the room where this is possible or why this is possible. Clearly, it's just to experiment a little bit more. The S.D. Perry novels. S.D. Perry is an author responsible for the novel adaptations of the Resident Evil 1 games for PS1, and she also has a book that she wrote about Resident Evil 0. Books are considered non-canon, but they do provide a lot of fun what-if moments with the main cast from the games, as well as providing insight on the villains' thought processes and goals. Mr. X's name origin. Although the tyrant in Resident Evil 2 is commonly known to fans as Mr. X, this has never been the canon name or reference in the game. For early marketing and toy promotion of RE2 in America, magazines and companies called him Mr. X for some reason. In fact, the S.D. Perry novels even refers to him as Mr. X. I guess over time, the name just somehow stuck. RE Revelatons. The launch copies of the 3DS version, which is the original version, of Resident Evil Revelations had a misprint box which were then recalled, allowing customers to swap out their misprint box with a fixed one. I actually own one. Carlos Easter eggs. In the Resident Evil 3 remake, Carlos has quite a bit of Easter eggs featuring in the game